I don't know what to say about this one other than it's not the Comicave Studios Iron Man Mark 7 1/12 scale. Anyway, let's get on with it. Hi guys, this just arrived in the post. It was by vctoysbox.com. G-Peng, top bloke, he contacted me when this was about to be shipped and he said, considering all the controversy that's gone on with Comicave Studios and their denouncement of all the figures that are coming out of China now with their branding on, he said that he would like to open up the figure and have a look and make sure it all seems okay. So I agreed. He opened it up, had a look at everything seems to be above board. He checked all the electrics and things like that, and he also decided to help pad the item a little bit more. So he wrapped everything up in little bits of tissue and stuff to protect it just a little bit more while it was shipping, which was an absolutely stunning job. Thank you, G, for this. I appreciate it. And now we're going to get on and let's have a look at the box and what we get. Right, okay, here's the front. As you can see, it's got Marvel Avengers on, Iron Man Mark 7. It's got a picture of the product and it's got Comicave Studios embossed on the bottom left hand corner, and here he is just straight out of the packaging. As you can see, this is really nice. It's got such a nice little paint job. I really like the sculpting. It's even got a black wash in there to highlight some of the little deeper parts and the grooves. And as we come around, we can turn it about. You can see it's really nice on the back. There doesn't seem to be any uneven spray painting on there. I would expect that from a KO. Maybe the neck's not as sprayed as the head, so it's a little bit lighter in colour or something like that. No issues there. All the golds on this are pretty even. All, you know, the face, the arms, the legs, they all seem to be sprayed with the same gold, which again is something you would expect to find on a KO. Okay, straight out of the pack you can see all the accessories he comes with. He comes with two repulsor blast hands with fire effects on. These are the small ones. You can also swap these over with these two large fire effects. As we can see, very nice. It's got a very nice translucent orange going into a red. As we come over, he's got two forearm rockets just there. And as you can pull in, we can see some really nice detail in these. I mean, 1/12 scale. You can even see through the gaps there. You can see my hand moving behind it, which is really good. And he's got two simple repulsor blast hands where the guard is up at the back, so you can have him pose like that without the fire effects, left and right. And he's got two relaxed hands just down by the side where the wrist gauntlet is down and relaxed. And he's got two fisted hands on there already. And he comes with these two thigh swappable pieces which go onto the legs here, and those are for the rockets. And he's got two open pieces for the shoulder rockets. It's a little bit of a shame they've missed out a paint application there. As you can see, I would have liked to have seen that done, but a minor niggle. Okay, and if you wanted to swap those pieces out, you could just come over here, pop these shoulder pieces off, you nail under there and flip it off there. Then we come in, we slot that in, come in this side, slot that piece in, come in here, use your nail to pop these thigh pieces off you come. Voila. And as you can hear with the clang noise there, that they are actually die cast. These bits are plastic, but the other bits are die cast. You swap these over there like that, them in place, just press them on and they fit quite sternly on there. Pop these forearm pieces off. Be very careful because they're actually on a sideways piece here, so if you bend it quickly or try to snap it, these could actually bend and break. So be very careful about that. These are a little bit more fiddly to fit on, and they actually are arm specific because of this part here, because of this tiny little notch here. They are arm specific, so you have to put the right one on the right arm because there's a little notch there as well. Get on there. Bit fiddly to get on. And there he is with all the extra pieces attached. Okay, and here he is with the batteries put in. He didn't come with any batteries. They were taken out for shipping reasons. It was a lot safer, to be honest. But I managed to go to my local pound shop, believe it or not, and you get these JCB watch cell batteries, and they all have different codes on them. You can see it's like AG392, AG4377, but actually on the battery itself there is a couple of different names on there, and one is LR66, and it's recommended you give this one LR626. So I put them in and they fitted exactly the same as the 626, and they actually light him up pretty well. I'm not going to keep the batteries in this guy just because I don't keep batteries in my figures. As you can see, he lights up pretty nicely. You can see the eyes do glow, but they are a little bit duller than on the arc itself. That arc reactor is really bright and it's very nice. I get a sneaking suspicion that that's not going to work forever, because I do have the Comicave shotgun figure, and the connections on that figure for the batteries and the lights, they're just awful. They worked for a little while, and slowly but surely they just stop working after a while. I get a feeling that they haven't been able to lock down the electrics in these things pretty well. So I have no doubt that this will probably fail, but it's not a big problem because I don't use the lights that often anyway. But it's very nice, as you can see. Now, while we got him on, let's just have a look at what we can do articulation wise. Now, we can lift the head up about that much and put the head down about that much, and he can turn from left to right. But there is restrictions because of those shoulder things, and it works. I don't seem to work in either way. So there is a bit of restriction there with that. But then the arms, these are really good, but they have these shoulder pads in there, and you can lift these up to above shoulder height, but these shoulder pads can pop off. Now, it is good because, as you can see, there is a notch there for the shoulder pad to go on, but that can be a little stiff to move up and down. But you're better off taking off the shoulder pad, positioning it to where you want it to be, and then you can actually do it better. I'm glad the joints are a little stiff, but I'm quite glad of that, because they are going to loosen up over time, and I'm just chuffed that they actually are tight enough so they're not a big problem. But as you can see, the shoulder pads do pop off. So me personally, I recommend when you are posing this guy, take the shoulder pads off, put them in the position you want, and then put the shoulder pads back on, because that's the safest way. But he does have some shoulder drop there, so you can bring him down. He's got a bicep swivel, so to speak, just there, and it works. And he's got a double bend in the elbow here, and the hands spin all the way around, and they're on wrist pegs. This is a cool feature here. Let me just put these down for you for a second, because we're going to do this. You pull this up, and as you can see, the torso pulls up, and he's got some bend there in the torso. We can bring it back. I'm going to be very careful. I don't want to paint chip this too much, giving it a good old rough time. And he's got a really good waist turn, pretty nice. And if we come down to the legs, I've just taken all these pieces off just because I don't want to break him while I do this. But it can be a little stiff, but you can pull these legs all the way down. Come on, pull them much further out, and his legs will go up all the way up there. He's also got a double bend in the knee and some ankle pivot. Not a lot, but a little bit. And the wrist pegs are just normal pegs, and up and down, and they can do a full 360 turn, so you can move it around and get that into the position you want. And here he is posed on a Mezco flight pole, just to show you the fire effects here. The long ones go through his feet, and these ones are attached to their hands. I think that looks pretty good, and the light up effect works really well. Still on, so you know, can't be too bad. Paint application on this is really good. There's obviously some tiny little niggles, like because a lot of it is die cast, when you're trying to paint die cast and the way it's cut and molded and things, sometimes they're not as perfect as you would like them to be, but it's still really great. I absolutely love the articulation. I think there's more articulation in this than I expected there to be, and they've done some great engineering designs to make sure that he can actually get some decent movement out of him. And just for fun, here he is next to the Figma Iron Man Mark 7. I think you can see that the Figma one is just a little bit bigger. He's just got a slightly larger head. The chest is just a tiny bit larger, and as you can see, the Figma is not designed to be put into a static position, so it's a little bit difficult for him to just stand normally, whereas the Comicave one can just stand there quite proudly without any issues. Posing wise, Figma wins, doesn't he? I mean, you can get him into the ground pound position and everything, so he's a far more posable figure, but you don't get the light up features. You don't get the real die cast feel from it, and there are some, you know, design variants that they've done to try and make it just so you can pose this guy a little more. His elbow pieces here, they're actually round and jut out a little bit more. These bits here are attached to the shoulder joint, so you turn it all the way around, it goes with it. And then you've got these large sticking out bits here around the feet, whereas they're a lot tighter in here. Design wise, this guy is a lot tighter. He's a lot more engineered and structurally sound. This guy, while he can't stand in a museum pose very well, he is far better for extreme posing. but good luck trying to find him because he's been AWOL for quite a while, and if you're going to go hunting for him on the secondary market, you're going to have a tough time. I really like the Comicave Iron Man. It's an 8.5 out of 10. He'd get 9 if only he did a little bit more posing in the ab crunch region. But the paint app is spectacular. It really is. There's no paint bleeds anywhere. It's flawless. The light up function is really good. I really like the fact that you can actually just pop the lights on whenever you feel like it, and both the eyes and the chest both light up at the same time. There's no putting on 2 different switches for both lights. And he just looks overall a little bit more sleekly engineered. I don't really know what's going on with Comicave. Like I said, they've disowned my Hulkbuster, but I don't know if it's real or not. And from the sounds of it, this guy isn't real either. But it looks like what they've done is they've had a row with the factory who was producing them. They've gone to another manufacturer, and in spite or to recoup losses, the original manufacturer has released all the batches that they've made already. And I've heard tell that the quality is a little bit more inconsistent. That's why G over at VC Toys Box opened him up for me and checked him all so that I got the best possible product, and just to make sure that it wasn't too dodgy. And thank you very much, G, that was awesome. And here he is standing next to the Comicave Hulkbuster. I don't really care if they're genuine or not. They're amazing pieces. I really like them, and I genuinely think if you get a chance to snap either of these up, do so. And here's how he scales next to Marvel Legends Ghost Rider and Mezco 112 Tactical Suit Batman. And here's how he scales next to Storm Collectibles Ryu and Figma's Guyver 1. And here's how he scales next to Movie Masterpiece Bumblebee and Reveltech's Amazing Yamaguchi Wolverine. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and if you do me a favour now, if you get the flip out of my cave, I'd appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.